All right, so now we're in the actual talk portion of our interview session. This will be broken into four quarters since we are in sports and entertainment. Jumping right in, going into the preseason, just have you tell us about yourself. So it's just going to be your name, where you're from, and where you work, and then what's one aspect of sports that you appreciate the most.
My name's Trey Ballard. I am from a small town called Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, a town of about 5,000 people. I work with Octagon Sports Marketing as a director within rights management for one of our financial services clients. The one aspect of sports I appreciate the most is just the competitive nature of sports. The drive and the appreciation I have for the athletes to make a commitment day in and day out to striving for greatness is something that I've always appreciated and continue to do.
Perfect. So going back into your early career path and your high school and college years, when you were younger, what did you initially want to do as a career? And then did you spend more time playing or watching? And then we're going to finish off the last question being, what was your first break, or who gave you your first break going into your sports career?
Growing up as a kid, oddly enough, I wanted to be a physician. I think growing up, that was a profession that I really looked up to, and thought that was something that would fit with me. But overall, once I got into college and started taking courses, I think I really pivoted over, understood pretty quickly that was not necessarily for me. When I was growing up, I certainly watched more than I played, although I did play. I was an average level high school athlete, but there was never a time when I didn't watch the NBA Finals or the World Series, or athletes such as Michael Jordan, do their thing, year in and year out. So, I was certainly known as the guy who knew all the stats, who followed sports closely and played okay. In terms of a first break into the industry, I can really thank my uncle for that, who worked for Bank of America and got me involved and in touch with the right people in order to come over and work for my company, which I've been at for 10 years now. So, I thank him all the time. It really does take connections in order to break into the industry quite often.
Going into your day-to-day role, if students were to shout at you, what would they see you doing on your day-to-day?
It's a great question. A lot of communication, a lot of connecting, having meetings internally with my colleagues at Octagon, a lot of meetings and connections with Major League Baseball teams and MLB as a league. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, connecting with clients, making sure that we're serving them properly, and delivering, exactly the product that we need to deliver and they want us to deliver. So mostly a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings, a lot of networking and engaging and developing relationships is what someone would see if they were able to shadow me on a daily basis.
What is two aspects of your job you feel like are most satisfying to you?
Again, it goes back to the people. I work with some of the most talented people in the industry, and there's always a resource, and there's always someone there willing to teach, and I'm able to learn on a daily basis. So I think, that really stands out immediately as something that is appealing. And two, again, it's fun. It really is. If you're able to go in and do something that you like on a daily basis, and fortunately I am, just having fun doing your job is going to, benefit you greatly. You don't want to go into work dreading it. And if you love sports and you like being around it, going to work in sports is a great pathway for a career. So, those are two immediate things that stand out.
What is one skill that has helped you really succeed in your career as a sports professional?
I think an overall friendly nature is something that I've really leaned on throughout my career. An ability to cultivate relationships among clients, amongst colleagues, amongst agency partners, amongst teams and leagues that I've worked with. That's something that I really lean on a day-to-day basis when I'm going to have these conversations with Major League Baseball or a team like the Yankees or Los Angeles Dodgers. That friendly nature and that ability to develop those relationships has really served me in my career and in my ability to have an upward trajectory.
So now we're going to go into our fourth quarter, Game 7. We're going to end off with some career advice for our high school students that are going to be watching this video. Going into the last section, if you could go back and tell your high school self one piece of advice, what would you tell yourself?
It's so hard because one piece of advice I would tell, if I could go back, I would have so many pieces of advice for myself. But I think the one thing that really comes to mind immediately is just the ability to put yourself out there, the ability to network. Again, I come back to that. Don't be afraid to, connect with people within the industry, connect with your professors, spend time to, again, cultivating those relationships and, meeting new people, going deep with them, trying to understand, what their roles are, what they do on a day-to-day basis and what and how they got, to the point they are within their careers. That's going to be so important. I can't really emphasize enough how important it is to make connections among the industry, because that's really what you're going to be able to stand on once you're into college and then through with college, those relationships that you make. So again, don't be timid, don't be afraid, put yourself out there. Networking is not easy, but it's very important. It's something you can improve on, and it's something that's only going to benefit you.
You're dropping gems over there. So, one last piece of advice for the high school students who are going to watch this. After attending this event, what's the very next step that they should take to eventually be in a position where you are today as well?
I think a first step, a really good first step, would be to create a LinkedIn profile. This is a phenomenal tool that, if utilized correctly, can be very beneficial to certainly, professionals within the industry, but also high school students like yourselves. I do think that, having that ability to reach out, make those, connections and, try to get time with people if within the industry, if they'll allow for it. I think that's certainly something that someone like myself, for instance, would be open to if, a high school student came and said, hey, Trey, do you have 15 minutes of time? Can you speak with me and give me some advice? Certainly so. I think many in the industry that I know, certainly with Octagon, and I would say even beyond, feel very open to giving our time to, because someone helped me in my career at some point. So we like to pass that on.
I love it. Stay tuned for more content. We definitely have a lot more in store for you guys. But I want to thank Trey for joining us on our Chalk Talk. Peace.